Hello everybody and welcome to this general walkthrough for the Desert Dunes tournament. I've swapped my winter parka jacket ready for my sunglasses and we're going to take a look at all 9 holes of the Jamil Dunes course. Going to put the overviews up as usual for each hole in turn, look at some suggested routes and elevations from all 3 tees. Bear in mind these are only general suggestions and will need to be tweaked as the tournament progresses and we find out what wind direction and strengths that we're going to have. Before we look at hole number 1, don't forget, if you are new, a very warm welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on the video, it does help the channel. Make sure you're subscribed and get the bell button switched on for notifications when we go live or upload new content. Finally, as this course is not in tour play, I will be doing a practice round tomorrow in practice mode in the game, spending some tokens, and we will be doing practice round on one of my accounts, 12 o'clock UK time, and that is tomorrow, which is of course Thursday. So don't forget to join me if you want to look at some of these holes in actual gameplay. Okay, here we go then with hole number 1. So we begin with a par 4 as usual with tournaments, and this one is going to give us not a guaranteed eagle, but if we can pick up an eagle here, it's always good to start off with one. The white line is the usual route here, and that is going to be played 10% downhill. We're going to need to bounce before that first fairway bunker with a good amount of topspin. 4.5 topspin is good, plus a couple of bars of right spin, and get down towards the tip of that arrow with our drive. The second shot from there, if you are long enough with your drive, you're going to be with the short iron. If not, it's going to be a probably minimum distance long iron up to the green. I've put 0% there, but obviously in higher winds and especially in crosswind, you may want to play this one 10%. It's going to be very wind angle dependent. That is using on the second shot a couple of bars of backspin, bouncing before the fringe, and then finding a nice spot to land to hopefully get us in for a nice eagle. Bear in mind there is a risky rough bump there that we were playing in Master Division last year, just at the base of that tree there, but it is going to depend on the wind angle and the adjustment on that one. But if you're feeling brave, you could go for it. If we have strong tailwind, if you really want to play aggressive on this one, get a berserker on there, power 5 ball and go full blast, bouncing. This is the black line where that red cross is just before the bunker, and hopefully clearing the rocks and rolling as far as you can, very close to the green if you've got good drivers here. If not, you will be left with a very good wedge shot for eagle. But bear in mind, with your overpower, if you do hit a bad great left or right, you may not end up on the fairway, but you will still reach for the green in 2. So that is hole number 1. Hole number 2 is the first of the par 3s, and we're going to talk about the black line first, and this is the actual best chance of getting a hole in 1 on this hole. It is going to be the first of many rough bumps that you will experience on the Desert Dunes tournament as part of Jamil Dunes, and we're looking where the red cross is there. It's not a great patch of rough, but it's okay, it's worth a go. Plus 10% is the general elevation. Really good chance there, but obviously if you are using the quarterback, as you may well be doing in certain wind conditions from second tee and most likely definitely the third tee, bear in mind a great left or great right could land you in trouble. I have missed the rough there in previous tournaments, but like I said, it is the best chance for a hole in 1. If you don't fancy that, you're probably going to be using the white line instead, and that is bouncing over on the left pad. This is probably going to be the route, definitely from front tee with rookies, unless you fancy the rough bump. But again, I'm playing that one 10% with some backspin, but you will also need at least 2 bars of right spin to get the ball to go in the right direction to potentially drop for a hole in 1. So a good chance if you fancy a go at the rough bump for hole 2. The first of the par 5s then, this is hole number 3, and I'm always going to play the route that's shown here regardless of the wind direction. 10% extra on the drive, bouncing where the blue cross is marked there, the end of that first piece of fairway, with some top spin, may well need a bit of left spin as well. Clear the rough and avoid the fairway bunker, and we want to position ourselves here for the second shot, which is a great chance for an albatross with the rough bump there. 0% on the second shot, however in some wind directions we have actually done a -5 on that. It's going to be with the sniper. If you have it, it's going to give you the best chance. Red ring to the rough, move your target around, you will see, applying your spins, there is a very good funnel here down to the pin. This is going to be a shot that a lot of people will be dropping, so get your adjustment right, hit perfect, and you've got a good chance of an extra here on hole number 3. Another par 3 then for hole number 4, and once again, rough bump is by far the best route to get the hole in one on this one, because you're taking out that secondary bounce wind effect. I've put 2 elevations up here. It's definitely going to play at least 10%, but in some directions you may want to go a little bit more, for instance 20% on this one. The black cross is indicating the landing position. Front tee, this is definitely going to be with long iron. Pro and expert, most likely long iron as well, but master level, you are going to be playing with a wood club on this one. You're going to need some top spin and left spin to get that ball guide to the hole on this one, but it does offer a very good chance of a drop. However, bear in mind, if you are using the Goliath, a great left with the accuracy of that club may well put you in the left-hand bunker. We do play a close line from that landing spot to the pin via that bunker, so hopefully you can avoid that for a good chance. If you don't fancy that one, the blue cross there on that little pad of fairway before the rough, if you want to play the standard bounce over shot. However, like I said, rough bump for me is the way forward on this one for the best chance. That is hole number 4. Hole number 5, and if we do get tailwind here, we are going to be going for green. I haven't put that arrow on, but it is following the same route as the white arrow that you see there. So if you've got 6 bars of topspin on your driver, you might want to put a power ball on, go full OP, clear the 2 pieces of fairway beyond the blue cross, and try and topspin your way up to the green for a very simple wedge for an eagle. However, if you don't fancy that, the big topper is good here. If you've got that, I would definitely go with that one for the top spin if you don't have Thor's Hammer or APOC. And that's bouncing where the blue cross is before the sand, 10% extra, and you're still going to want to get yourself as far down as possible, even if you don't have tailwind. The idea then is you're going to have a short iron shot for the eagle. Put 0% on the second shot for a general elevation. Obviously, if you're not going with the wedge, you want to bounce before the fringe with a little bit of backspin and try and get yourself a nice eagle there. But bear in mind, with the second shot, if you do have crosswind or a stronger wind, you may want to add some elevation as well. So there we go with hole number 5. Hole 6, I think, is the trickiest hole in the game, especially with the drive. There is a bit of pressure on this one. If you land in the rough or the sand, chances are you are not going to be anywhere near the green with your second shot. So we need to hit perfect on this one. 10% on the drive, at least a power 3 ball. We have been known to play with power 4 or 5, though, in previous tournaments when this hole has been used. Get some top spin on, try and get as much distance as you can. Going to be bouncing before that first fairway bunker, but bear in mind that piece of fairway is fairly narrow, so if you hit a great ball on one side or the other, you are risking going in the rough or the sand. Second shot here, you're going to need a 180 yard club, so Cataclysm if you have it. If not, go with the big dog, and you've guessed it, it's another rough bump. However, this does not offer you a very good roll to the pin. It's a little bit glitchy and inconsistent. It's definitely not like the funnel on hole 3. 10% on the drive, but for the second shot, a little bit more downhill. I'm going plus 20%. So, risky drive. Be happy with an eagle on this one. If you get your eagle, get yourself off this hole and on to hole number 7. It's a tricky one. Hole number 7, the last of the par 3s, and we've got a few options on screen for you here. Right hand side on the black arrow there is the normal bounce over, where the red cross is just before that corner of the first piece of fairway, bouncing over and towards the pin. If you fancy the long rough bump, then that is going nearer the green. That is the light blue cross. It's a bit of a thin strip of rough here, so you will need to adjust accurately, and you will need to use some pull angle depending on the wind. But it's going to be a quarterback shot and a very good chance of dropping. However, as I said, there is a risk there. If you don't adjust properly, you may miss the rough and hit the fairway and bounce over, or you may plug straight into the sand. On the left hand side, the white route there is the other rough bump, playing on the nearer patch of rough, bouncing sooner and having a longer rollout to the flag. But it is a very nice route here. I've played this a few times and got it to drop as well. Obviously you do need to adjust accurately, though sometimes you're going to be pulling slightly uphill, sometimes you're going to be adjusting into the sand, so bear that in mind. As a general rule, for the left and right routes, the white line and the black line, plus 10% on the elevation there on hole number 7. The 8th hole now is the last of the par 4s, and again I'm only really going to be playing the white line here in all routes. Obviously there is a route to the left if you want to take it. However, for the best chance at an eagle, follow the arrows here. 10% on the drive. You want to be bouncing over that sandy area onto the next piece of fairway, avoiding the fairway bunker of course, so you will need a little bit of topspin. Then the idea is obviously to roll down nicely for a short iron second shot for the eagle. Once again, I've put 2 elevations on the second shot here, either 0 or 10%, or maybe 5% if you have some diagonal wind. You're just going to have to see where you're setting up here if you want to use offset, and also what the wind is doing. But another good chance here, so as with all of these par 4s really, if we can pick up eagles on these, it is going to be very, very useful indeed. And I do recommend, where possible, on these linear holes, building up some yardage notes so you can use the slider and hopefully dial in a few eagles as the week goes on. So there we go, that is hole number 8. And finally, finishing as we usually do in tournaments with a par 5 for hole number 9. The white route here is my preferred option, and you're going to need a driver with some curl here and a ball with plenty of side spin. So quarterback is very good. You'll need at least side spin 2, preferably 3, because you want to be curling round with the spin and the curl to where the tip of that first arrow is. Obviously, if you're playing from further back, the APOC is going to be the way to go. However, be careful. Do not hit a bad great right, because with the curl, that will push you directly into the rough or the sand, and then you can kiss your chances goodbye of reaching the green in 2. 0% on that one. Assuming your drive goes well, you will be situated with a sniper shot to the green, and it is a downhill shot. I've put plus 25% on this one. There is a rough bump that is shown here with the blue cross there towards the tip of that second arrow. However, if you're not feeling confident with that, and it's not the widest section of rough to aim at, then just go for the bounce over shot. I have dropped both the rough bump and the bounce over, but bear in mind, if you are playing bounce over, you'll have increased wind effect to deal with. You've got that downhill second bounce over the sand. The alternate route here, if you don't fancy that, is the blue line. I've put it on for illustration purposes, but for me, the right-hand route is the way to go on hole number 9. So plenty of rough bumps on the Jamil Dunes, but also plenty of opportunities for drops, so we are going to need to get dialed in. Don't forget, practice round going to be on the channel tomorrow, that is Thursday, and I'll be live streaming throughout the week as well. All the best if you're taking part in the Desert Dunes tournament, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye for now, bye bye.